Hey guys, welcome back to the 2020 edition of the Mixed by Mark Mozart Advent Calendar.
Yes.
Call it the Christmas giveaway or whatever you want.
The Corona special this year, unfortunately.
Musicians had a hard year.
Yes. We went over that in the first episode. By the way, check that out. If you haven't seen it, you can still win gear from that episode.
You have 7 days from the moment when we are live, and there's a lot of amazing stuff from speakers to microphone. We give away some of our products and services and the best plugins, very special plugins out there. I talked to my friends from iZotope and of course we have a lot of music producers here. So what you guys need is the iZotope Music Production Suite 4. And before we go into all the details, all the stuff that's included, I think iZotope is in a very, very special place because they're combining, it's pretty much crazy rocket science, artificial intelligence.
There's a lot of technology in their product.
Making it very accessible musically. And I had a chance 2 years ago to have a chat with iZotope's founder and boss. And they're in Boston. And as some of you know, there's the Berklee Music School and there's the MIT. And the way he explained it to me is when you are a musician and at the same time you're interested in technology, and he studied AI. So when this comes together, the musicianship and the love for technology, these are the guys that are working at iZotope.
That's iZotope right there.
They're
much.
right there. It's a huge company. They're hugely successful.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of iZotope, you have heard of Ozone.
Their stuff is everywhere. I think everybody has heard of iZotope at this point.
And they're in a place where they're completely different from every other plugin manufacturer, because we know plugins are a lot about emulating analog gear and stuff, and I'm a fan of that. Sometimes
we all are, yeah.
You want the old school whatever compressor, you want the exact same thing, but only in the box. iZotope's gone to a different place. You can do similar stuff with iZotope, but they are going a step further, and they're giving us not just a glimpse of the future. The stuff they are doing with AI is absolutely crazy. We're using it a lot in our social media production. For example, if you have a shoot recording some audio on the street, they have an intelligent algorithm that can knows what's voice, what's street noise, what's reverb, and it's at such a high quality. Some of the stuff is included in this bundle that we are giving away.
And we'll go over everything that's included and what it does in just a second.
The absolute craziest thing I've seen and heard, and I've been using it for 2 years, is removing vocals from a full track. Yeah. And it works. I have a teenage daughter who is doing a lot of covers, and sometimes you don't find a backing track. You run it through this thing and it removes the vocals. You can rebalance stuff, you can remove the drums, you can isolate, make stems from a full track. It's crazy stuff, and it's all artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing for something like that, it doesn't ruin everything else.
No.
Because there's a lot of plugins and applications that try to do that, but in the process, they ruin pretty much everything that's left, and you have artifacts and everything on there. And iZotope has figured out to do it in a way where everything else just sounds very musical, very natural, but there's no vocals on there anymore, or there's no drums.
They're not just light years ahead, but they're the only ones at the same time.
Pretty much, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff we have to go over, so I think we should probably get started with that. You mentioned Ozone earlier, and guess what? That's included here.
The full version.
It's the advanced version, so just that by itself would be an amazing price, but that's just one of the things. We support Ozone Advanced in our mix templates.
Absolutely, we're using it all the time.
And we really had to, at least I really had to take a deep dive into that, and then you start to figure out everything it can do.
I mean, you can install the bundle and just get started. And
for sure.
It's easy.
For sure.
It's very intuitive, but you can also dive into it very deep, and you can do it either way. So you'll have a lot of fun and you'll still discover some new stuff even when you're 2-3 years into using it.
Yeah, so for example, I think a great example of that would be Nectar 3 Plus, which is also included. And that's, they've also added this layer of artificial intelligence. So it's basically a full vocal channel strip, everything you need to do vocals. And now it has the ability to listen to your vocal, analyze it, and then make some corrections. But if you want to dive into everything that's going on in the background, you can, but you don't have to. So it really gives you those two options, I think.
You know, when I've worked in production and I was involved in the songwriting process.
Gotta be quick.
You got to be quick, and nobody thinks about even what the plugin is that you're using.
Nobody
just want
cares.
a quick, great vocal sound, and for that, it's absolutely perfect.
Hey, Mark, I want some more attitude on that.
Yep.
There you go. Throw it on there. Let it listen to it. Put in aggressive. Yep. There you go.
Absolutely.
Another thing that's included: Neutron 3 Advanced. I think you've got some experience with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it goes also, it connects with some of the stuff that I talk in my book, is that when you have a kick, when you have bass, there's certain frequencies that are overlapping. And if that happens in the low end, it can be a problem because the low end can only carry so much information, which is because of the speakers and the drivers. You know, there's power and there's a magnet and all this kind of stuff. And Neutron can really help you to see where you got some masking in your mix, where one instrument stands in the way of another. And I mean, you could call it sidechaining stuff to other stuff.
It's much more than that, I think,
but it goes a lot deeper. It goes a lot deeper, and you have this AI component to it all the time. And it's super powerful, and it can really... it can clean up your mix.
Yeah,
you can really get your mess sorted with it.
Yeah, one thing I think it's also doing is when you have vocals and maybe like a super dense piano part or something, maybe that's in the way of the vocal a little bit. So I think we all love a clean low end. Yeah. We all like a really nice vocal that's sitting in the front for a lot of the productions.
Distorted guitar
Absolutely.
And vocals, there are lots of time they are fighting. And then when you just sidechain with a multi-band, it takes the aggressiveness from the guitar. But this is where the Neutron system can really, solve the problem, and only cut frequencies when the vocal's there and at the frequency that's overlapping, and is doing all this complex stuff that you don't find this with other plugin manufacturers.
You really don't.
It's a different approach.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to keep going, unfortunately. But another thing that you already mentioned is something that we use a lot, for example, for podcasts, for social media work, and that's RX8. Here you have the standard version.
Yep.
There's a more advanced, but the standard, it pretty much gives you everything you'll ever need. And
it has the music rebalance, for example.
Yeah.
It has lots of stuff to remove noise, and they are at the cutting edge of restoration, removing noise, whatever. I mean, you can really take a broken recording and turn it into something usable, which is also the reason why, the forensic guys
use RX
all of the time, and
see it everywhere.
This is.
I see it in a lot of post-production studios, for example. They use it as their main audio editor.
Yeah.
So if you want to get really deep into it, you can do that. If you just want to remove some noise or something, it does that as well. Alrighty, next one, Neoverb, a reverb. I love this one.
Well,
gotta say.
2 years ago, they added the company, and in particular a guy to the team, who is one of the original guys who was responsible for the reverb algorithms at Lexicon. Reverb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
nice.
they added this whole thing in, combined it with the tech they had, and all of a sudden iZotope is your go-to source for great reverbs, and you're using it in your template, right?
Actually, another one that's also in here, Neoverb, I think, once again, it's one of those intelligent things where you just have to click a couple buttons and it just gives you a great sounding option, and then you can really dive into it. So you can say, hey, I want a really big dramatic sounding reverb on vocals. It can do that. I want a more natural thing. And again, it has like those masking functionalities. So sometimes reverb tails can get in the way of vocals a little bit, of the dry vocal. And you can say, hey, find those resonances where it's kind of in the way and just remove those a little bit. Very musically again. So you don't really hear that it's doing it, but you can hear the effect that it's having.
Absolutely.
So that's one of those things I really like.
There's a total of 3 reverb plugins in the bundle.
So let's just keep going with the reverbs. The other one is R4 by Exponential Audio, which this one is actually in my template. I use this one all the time. What I love is it has a slider, so you can have like a mono reverb, which is nice sometimes when you have like a snare drum and then it kind of...
And you don't want to go with boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So you just want like the snare and a nice little tail in the mono mid. That's great for that. Nimbus, also by Exponential Audio. They're just great sounding reverbs, honestly. I don't know if you have to say much more.
If you don't have it, you want to have it.
Yeah, they're really nice sounding reverbs, very natural sounding reverbs.
What else?
Then we have Stutter Edit. Also something I really like because it's one of those plugins that you have to play. It's not so much that you can program it, but
you run a simple thing through it.
And it does some shit with it.
You play the effects.
Yeah, you actually have to play the effect. What I really like about it is it's a multi-effect that you can switch in between and jump back and forth and combine. You can do so much stuff with it. But the cool thing is you can put all of that on a MIDI keyboard. And so, for example, if you have like a simple, like a string sample or something, it's like, well, it's just a basic string sample. Just press some keys.
Delays,
and see
chorus,
what happens.
Craziness, reverse.
It's stuttering, effects, and envelopes, and you can modulate everything with everything else. And so you can really play the effect, which I think is nice if you're doing production.
Absolutely.
Just keep going. Okay.
More stuff.
More production stuff. Vocal Synth 2.
I've been using that a lot. It gives you everything you expect from a vocoder, but that's just a small part of what it can deliver.
What I really like is that it has built-in sound engines. Because sometimes with vocoders, it's kind of annoying. You have to route a lot of stuff back and forth.
Modular synth type of...
Yeah, exactly. And with this one, you can basically throw it on a vocal track. And then play around with, I think they got like different robot voices, all these different sound modules that you can combine, mix and match and stuff. So again, very musical and very much like, let's turn this up, see what happens. Let's turn that up, see what happens. It's very fun, I think. Insight is useful.
That's
for everybody, pretty much.
Absolutely. That's like when you want to see your analyzer, your levels, what's the headroom, and you have it all in one place. That's where you use Insight. Mastering guys would use it, but you can use it alongside mixing just so to have an eye on it every now and then. Very useful as well. And
also it's very cool. You can really customize your windows. So it's not just this one huge plugin. If you just want basic levels, you can have like a little levels with your LUFS, and you can just like look on it every once in a while.
Are you saying I don't have enough screen space to...
Oh, we do. On a laptop, it's a little bit different.
It's true.
And so you don't want this one huge plugin. But if you want to see every information there is, if you're mastering, you really want to get into it, again, you can do that. It offers pretty much everything. And then tonal balance, I think, is also a very cool one.
Have you looked at it?
Yes. It's, again, combination of that artificial intelligence and you yourself as an artiste. It basically gives you an idea of where you want to be with your balancing of the tracks. So, for example, if you don't have a very nicely treated room and you work in a bedroom, your bass might not give you the most accurate representation. And so you throw tonal balance on there and say, hey, I want a pretty bass-heavy hip-hop track, for example, and it kind of gives you a range to work in. Sort of like a rule of thumb, and then you can start working from there. I think that's what's really nice about it. I think that's it.
It's massive.
There's a lot of stuff in it.
I mean, Ozone alone
would be a great price. Then, if you just want Ozone, that would already be worth it.
RX, you can spend your entire Christmas holiday loading in sounds and see what you can denoise and transform.
Pull out that one box with the old tapes of your dad from the 80s and see what you can do with the sound of that.
Restoration.
Yeah,
project.
exactly.
Big holiday restoration project.
I think it's fun to have like some of your old family videos and stuff, maybe digitalize it, make the sound great.
Oh my!
Preserve it.
I'll dig out my old Eurodance stats from the 90s.
If you want to do that, sure, I'm sure you can do that.
Restore the clipped mixes and dynamics.
I mean, go for it.
I can do it. I'm doing this stuff all the time, especially for our social media and recording in weird places like garages and where you have lots of
background noises and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
You want to win this. I mean, I'm just...
Again, some people maybe switched the stream in later. Explain them, give them the fast version. How can you win this? And how much time do you have?
Okay. We want to hear why you need this, why you want this. And the way you can do that is make a piece of content, video, voice recording, meme, be creative with it, but post it publicly so we can see it. Then take that link from that post, wherever that may be.
From your YouTube, Insta, whatever, where you posted.
Yeah, sure. And then post it down below on
underneath
this post.
This live stream.
Yeah. Yes. So this live stream going to be over. It's going to be a post on our timeline. Post it in the comments.
Yep.
If you want to win the iZotope, let me just get that right. The iZotope Music Production Suite 4.
Yes.
Exactly. You do want to win this.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure. So let us know why, and then post it down in the comments, and we'll pick a winner.
That's it, pretty much.
Is there more to say?
I can't wait to see all the content people send us.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a.
And we'll probably repost the content of the winning person, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. We've done this before, and it proved to be very entertaining.
Yeah, in 2018, I wasn't here yet, so this is very nice that I'm around this time.
One guy desperately wanted to win a pair of speakers, and he got his whole family and friends. Yeah. He got everybody to be part of the video, and they told his entire story, how he started with music, how he's working hard to get the gear, but he's missing those speakers.
That's the kind of creativity we want to see.
It was very entertaining. We've reposted it, and I was so happy when the guy had the speakers and could finish his EP.
Yeah, we're going to give you shout-outs on all our platforms as well if you win, so I think it's a great package.
We'll post your YouTube and your Spotify link and everything.
Absolutely. Give you guys some extra value with that. Are you right?
I'm
Pizza?
Okay. Pizza and
Pizza and Coke.
All right, that's it.
Perfect. Cool.
Bring on the content and you'll win the iZotope Music Production Suite 4. Bye.
Music Production Suite 4 is a fully equipped collection of interconnected tools with intelligent features designed to spark creativity and improve your audio productions. Explore everything from realistic to larger-than-life spaces with the brand new Neoverb, and unmask the perfect space for your tracks using the all-new Reverb Assistant. Fit your vocals in the mix with the improved unmasking and pitch detection features in Nectar 3+. Add rhythmic flair to your arrangements with subtle tempo sync movement or outlandish effects in Stutter Edit 2. Learn every tool and technique from in-depth tutorials with a 1-year all-access pass to Groove 3. With iZotope's interconnected new workflows, time-saving assistive features, and cutting-edge visualizations, Music Production Suite 4 is ready to tackle any audio production that comes your way.